Hello everyone. Let's begin our gentle yoga practice. We'll start in a comfortable sitting position. You can sit on the ground or you can prop yourself up onto a blanket or a cushion or a yoga block. You can cross your legs or extend them out in front of you, whatever's more comfortable for you. Just focus on sitting up nice and tall through your spine. Gently close your eyes. You may like to take your palms to face down on your knees or thighs in a gesture of grounding for today's practice. Or you can turn your palms to face up in a gesture of receiving your practice. Let's use our inhale to sit up just a little bit taller. And as you exhale, allow the shoulders to draw down away from the ears and lean back just slightly so you feel your sitting bones rooting into the ground and your shoulders stacking over your hips. Begin to feel a sense of grounding from your belly button all the way down through the rest of your body. Begin to feel a sense of lifting energy rising up from the belly button all the way through the crown of your head. Perhaps you invite in the intention of balance today, creating these equal and opposite energies within our body and our mind. Let's begin with a nice gentle movement. We'll inhale to sweep our arms out and all the way up for the sky. And as you exhale, taking your palms together and bringing them down in front of your heart. Again, inhale, reaching those arms out and all the way up for the sky, starting to warm up the shoulder joint. And as you exhale, prayer hands coming down in front of your heart. One more time, connecting your movement to your breath, inhaling to rise up. And exhaling, hands to heart center, really inviting in that balance. Taking your palms to face down on your knees and inhaling to sit up a little bit taller. As you exhale, we'll drop our left ear to our left shoulder and begin to round the chin down towards the chest. On your inhale, begin to take right ear to right shoulder as you rise your head back up. And again, exhale, left ear, left shoulder, and chin to chest. And inhaling, right ear, right shoulder as you rise back up. And just taking one more round at your own pace, feeling free to pause anywhere along the way. And use your next inhale to rise up to a nice tall seat. And on the exhale, changing direction, dropping right ear to right shoulder, and then chin to chest. Inhaling, left ear, left shoulder, as you rise back up to the top. And taking 2 more rounds at your own pace. Just rolling out the neck, releasing any tension that you may have stored in your body. Maybe one more time around as you release that tension, inviting in some peaceful energy into your body. And just coming back up to a nice tall sitting position when you're ready. We'll begin to circle our torso just as we circled our neck. If you are sitting on a cushion, you may like to take it out from underneath you for grounding. With the palms facing down on the knees, we'll inhale to lift the heart up a little bit taller. And as you exhale, dropping your chest towards your left knee and sweeping it around towards your right knee to inhale, rise back up to sitting. So again, exhale, chest towards the left knee and sweep it around to the right. And inhaling to rise up. Taking a couple more rounds in this direction at your own pace. Really starting to wake up your back, loosening it up. Using your next inhale to rise up nice and tall. And on the exhale, we'll change direction, taking the chest towards the right knee and sweeping it around to the left. And inhaling to rise up. Taking about 3 more rounds at your own pace, just starting to feel a little bit better in your body. And maybe one more time around. And rising up to a nice tall sitting position. We'll go ahead and inhale, sweep our arms out and up for the sky again, reaching tall. And as you exhale, we'll take our left hand to the ground beside us, reaching that right arm up and then over your head. So that palm is facing down here, starting to stretch into your side body. We want to make sure that we keep our right hip rooted down into the mat and our right shoulder pulling down away from our ear, keeping space in our neck. Taking one more breath into that right side. And then inhale, reaching both arms up for the sky, getting nice and tall. And as you exhale, moving it over to that right side, reaching your left arm over your head, keeping your palm to face down, and sliding your shoulder away from your ear as you start to stretch and breathe into that left side. Breathing into those left ribs, all the way down to the hip. And on your next inhale, we'll rise back up, reaching both arms for the sky. And as you exhale, let's take a twist to the left. So we'll take our right hand to our left knee and let our left fingers fall behind us. You want to keep your left hand pretty close in towards your body so you can sit up a little bit taller this way instead of leaning back. Using your inhales to sit up even taller. And your exhales to take navel towards spine to really spiral that twist from the base up through the crown of your head, perhaps peeking over your left shoulder. On your next inhale, we'll unwind and reach both arms up for the sky, big stretch. And as you exhale, twisting towards the right side, taking those left fingers to the right knee and the right fingers behind you. We'll inhale to sit up a little bit taller, lengthening the spine, and using the exhale to send navel towards spine, really spiraling open the chest towards the right side, perhaps looking gently over your right shoulder. On your next inhale, we'll unwind and reach both arms up one more time. And on the exhale, taking prayer hands down in front of your heart. Coming back to our intention of inviting in some balance today. When you're ready, you can either roll over your legs, coming into tabletop, or sweep your feet around to the side and coming over onto all fours in hands and knees posture. In your tabletop, making sure that your knees are underneath your hips and your wrists under your shoulders. If you have sensitive knees, you can always take a blanket underneath your knees for a little extra cushion. With the fingers spreading nice and wide, pressing down through the 10 fingertips, we'll begin our cow and cat. So as you inhale, begin to tilt your pelvis forward, sinking your belly down and starting to stretch your heart forward. And then as you exhale, begin to round your back body up for the sky and drop your head and your tailbone downward. On your inhale, starting to find that cow back again, tilting the pelvis forward, belly drops down, heart reaches forward. And on the exhale, rounding the back into your cat, navel to spine, head dropping down. 2 more rounds at your own pace. Inhaling for cow. And exhaling for your cat back. And once more. And coming into a neutral spine. Inhale. As you exhale, draw your big toes together to touch. Your knees can be together, hip width distance, or even a little bit wider than your hips for your child's pose. Starting to sit your hips back towards your feet any amount. Don't worry if your hips do not touch your heels. And folding your forehead down onto your mat. If it's difficult to let your forehead rest all the way down on the mat, you can rest it on a block or make a pillow with your hands. If you like your knees together, this is a bit more of a restorative child's pose, keeping a little bit more support for our back. If you like your knees a little bit wider apart, this is a little deeper of a stretch, maybe coming into the hips a little bit more. So just always feel free to make a change and make your child's pose your own. As you're here, taking a deep breath into the back of your body, feel it expand. And as you breathe out, feel a sense of grounding in some peace. Completely absorb you and your body. So breathing in, filling the back body. And breathing out, letting the spine settle, the body and the mind relax. Taking one more breath here, in through the nose, filling up. And out any way you choose, just feeling that sense of surrender. We'll slowly begin to rise up onto our hands and knees again in tabletop. And as you exhale, walking your knees underneath your hips. We'll take our right toes and curl them under and extend our right leg behind us, starting to press back through the right heel as you stretch out the right calf. Try to keep your core engaged here, taking navel towards spine so you don't have any dip in your lower back. And really pressing back through that right heel to deepen the stretch. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, release your right knee back down into your mat, untuck your right toes, and then let's tuck our left toes under and lift our left knee up off the mat. Extending that left leg behind us as we really engage the quadricep and press back through the left heel. Strong straight arms pressing all 10 fingertips into the mat to protect your wrists, and drawing navel towards spine to keep your core engaged as you stretch your calf. One more breath in. And as you breathe out, we'll release our left knee back down onto the mat, untucking the left toes. Let's go ahead and check in with our hips a little bit. So we'll walk our hands one handprint forward on our mat, giving ourselves a little bit extra space. And with that space, let's go ahead and draw some big, wide circles with our hips, starting to really wake up and massage out our hips here as we circle in one direction. Just breathing at your own pace. And when you're ready, begin to change the direction of your circles. Just seeing if you notice anything different, maybe a little extra stretch here in this opposite direction. Keeping that blood flowing, the breath moving through your body, and just circling around one more time at your own pace. When you're ready, taking those hands back underneath your shoulders, we'll tuck our toes under and begin to lift our knees and our hips up for the sky, and walking the hands back towards the feet, bringing all of the weight into the feet. And the feet are underneath the hips. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and bend our knees, let our arms hang heavy, and just slowly roll your way up to a standing position, one vertebrae stacking on top of the next at a time. Head coming up last, and when it does, feeling tall here, head over tailbone. You can roll your shoulders up and back and down a couple more times, just loosening up. And then rolling those shoulders back and down and taking your palms to face forward, coming into your mountain pose. Spreading your toes wide and your fingers wide as you hug your shoulder blades together in the back body to protect the space behind the heart. Feel the front of the heart really open and expand for your practice. And feel a little inward rotation through your inner thighs so you can really send your tailbone straight down towards your heels and your heart a little bit more up towards the sky. Chin parallel to the ground here in our mountain pose, feeling vibrant in this posture. On your next inhale, take your arms out to a T beside you. To stretch our shoulders, we'll exhale, thread the left elbow under the right elbow, and give yourself a big hug here. You may even walk your hands a little bit further onto your back as you go here. And trying to lift your elbows about the height of your shoulders so that bottom arm kind of presses up a little bit into the top arm. And all the while, we want to press our shoulders themselves down away from our ears. Feeling that stretch in the upper back as you take another breath. Now, you can stay here, or if you'd like a deeper stretch for the shoulders, you can take your full eagle arms. By taking your fingertips up for the sky, maybe wrapping the left fingers around the base of the right thumb. If this is too much, just continue to hold opposite shoulders. We're going to add in a movement similar to our cow and cat movement here. So as you inhale, we'll lift our eagle arms or our elbows a little bit up, finding a heart opener. And as you exhale, softly bending the knees and rounding your elbows in towards your belly button. Again, as you inhale, rising up, lifting those elbows, maybe lifting the heart and the gaze. And as you exhale, softening the knees and rounding elbows to belly. One more time, let it feel good as you inhale. We'll rise up, open up. And as you exhale, soften the knees and round in and down. On your next inhale, we'll rise back to center. And then exhale to release your arms and just shake it out a little. Preparing for the other side. So coming back to center, palms facing forward in your mountain, shoulder blades hugging together in the back body. And here we go. We'll inhale to open our arms up to a T beside us. And as you exhale, this time we'll thread our right elbow under our left elbow and give ourselves a big hug, holding on to opposite shoulders. Standing nice and tall here still as you lift your elbows about the height of your shoulders, but sink your shoulders themselves down away from your ears so you're not scrunching or holding any tension. Taking a deep breath into your upper back and letting it go. Remember, you can stay exactly as you are, or if you'd like, you can wrap into your eagle arms, taking your right fingers to the base of your left thumb. With whichever arm variation you have, let's take that movement. We'll inhale to exalt or lift the elbows and the heart, maybe the gaze. As you exhale, softening those knees and rounding in, elbows to belly. Again, we'll inhale to rise up, open up. And exhale to round in and down. Final round with your breath. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling back to center. And as you exhale, release your grip. And you can shake it out a little, swaying from side to side. When you're ready, coming back to center. And we'll start to work into our tree pose. So for our tree pose, let's spread our left toes nice and wide onto our mat. And we'll start to kickstand our right toes into our inner left ankle. We want to keep our right knee pointing out to the side. Let's gather hands together into prayer in front of our heart. You are welcome to keep your tree pose here. If you would like more balance challenge today, feel free to lift your right foot so maybe it comes up into your inner left calf. If you want the most challenge, bypass your knee and maybe use your hand to bring your foot all the way up into your inner thigh. We just never want to press any pressure into the knee. Keep pressing that right knee out by the side. Hands maybe at heart center. Or if you're feeling really balanced here today, you might inhale and reach the arms up for the sky. And exhale, opening the branches of the tree, letting the shoulders release down away from the ears. And taking a nice deep breath here in your tree pose, really feeling full of life here. This pose helping us to really connect with our intention of balance today. Taking one more breath in. And as you breathe out, we'll release our tree pose, taking hands down, right foot down to meet the left, and just re-grounding down through the feet, feeling stable and connected. When you're ready, we'll check in with the other side. Taking those left toes into a kickstand in the inner right ankle. Trying to press that left knee out to the side without turning your hips. Hands to heart center if they aren't already there, and try to lift a little bit taller away from your roots. Find a nice steady gaze or drishti to focus on so you can find your balance. You may stay with hands to heart center, or perhaps you inhale, reach your arms up for the sky, finding any expression of your tree pose that you'd like to on this side. Seeing if you can be truly present in your pose, not letting a mistake distract you from your practice. And taking another breath. Very good. Taking one more breath in. And as you breathe out, gently releasing your tree pose, coming back into your mountain. Rolling your shoulders back and taking your palms to face forward beside your hips. We'll take one cleansing breath. So deep breath here in through the nose, filling all the way up. Now open your mouth to let it go. Good. Inhale to reach the arms up for the sky, maybe even looking up. And as you exhale, we'll swan dive out with bent knees and a flat back to fold down over our legs, coming into our standing forward bend. So make sure that your feet are underneath your hips. Make sure that you're bending your knees enough to where your fingertips can touch the mat. This should mean that your belly is glued right on top of your thighs. We want to keep those knees a little bit bent so that there's no space between the belly and our thighs in our forward fold. If you feel okay, you can drop your head down to hang heavy. And if you would like a little bit more, feel free to hold on to opposite elbows, letting your head hang heavy in the picture frame of your arms. Standing forward fold, a super surrendering posture where we can really feel gravity help stretch out our back and our hamstrings. We want to have about 40% or less of our weight in our heels and about 60% or even a little bit more of our weight forward into the balls of our feet so that our hips are truly stacked over our heels and we're getting the most benefit from the stretch. Take another breath here, really feeling that surrendering energy on the exhale. When you're ready, you can go ahead and release your hands if they're lifted. We'll begin to walk our hands all the way forward onto our mat, coming into our plank pose, a push-up position. If you have sensitive wrists, feel free to be on your elbows. If not, we want to make sure that our shoulders are directly over top of our wrists. And we're going to drop our knees down, but we want to drop them behind our hips for our knee plank. So we still have a nice straight line, no hinging at the hips here. Feel your awareness coming toward your belly as you scoop your abdominal muscles in and up, really feeling strong through your core. Tailbone reaching back toward your heels, finding length through the lower back. And one more breath here in this strong pose. Good job. When you're ready, begin to let your elbows bend, but keep them bent in close toward your body as you lower all the way down onto your belly. When you get there, make sure your toes are untucked and the big toes are coming together to touch, tops of the feet pressing down into the mat. For our Sphinx pose, we'll go ahead and walk our forearms onto the mat, so bring your elbows a little bit forward. It's okay if the feet separate a little bit. Just keep them down on the mat behind you. On your inhale, try to grow a little taller up and out of your shoulders. And as you exhale, really pull your shoulders back like you were opening up your heart to your practice, keeping your chin parallel to the ground. This is a wonderful back-bending posture, very safe and supportive. Keep using your inhales to grow a little taller out through the shoulders, and using your exhales to really open up the chest, sliding it forward. Taking one more breath in. And as you breathe out, just letting the elbows come out by the side so you can lower all the way down onto your mat, chest down. We'll take one more back bend here. So we'll take our hands and slide them underneath our shoulders and squeeze our elbows in towards our side ribs. Tops of the feet still rooted into the mat, maybe the big toes touching again. For our baby cobra. Go ahead and take an inhale, beginning to lift the chest a little bit. As you exhale, try not to use your hands. Pull your shoulders back away from your ears and see if you can lift up a little bit higher without the support of your hands. Really starting to wake up those back body muscles. Keep your chin a little bit tucked, almost like you were holding a softball between your chin and your chest. Really pushing down through the tops of the feet so you can lift the upper back a little bit higher. And keeping those elbows squeezing into your side ribs for one more breath. Good job. Slowly releasing your chest down into the mat. And we'll go ahead and inhale, press up through all fours in our tabletop position. And as you exhale, we'll sit it back for our child's pose. Hips towards the heels, forehead towards the mat, and resting here. Taking a few breaths, reconnecting to your intention. And one more breath in your child's pose. Good job. Let's slowly walk the hands in, coming up to sitting, and sweeping the legs around in front of us so we can truly sit all the way down into our mat. Working on our staff pose, we'll extend our legs out long in front of us, heels towards the front edge of the mat, and we'll flex our feet so our toes are up for the sky. Taking the palms to face down beside the hips, and rolling the shoulders back, really feeling the collarbones expand across the front of your chest. In this pose, we're trying to sit up tall. If you have a hard time sitting up tall, you may decide to take that cushion back underneath you that you started your practice with. Instead of pushing down through our hands, we want to really press down through our hips to create a nice, long, straight spine. Chin just a little bit tucked so the back of the neck is long, and just really good pose overall for spinal health and for your posture. Good job. You can slowly relax here. We'll go ahead and bend the knees out by the side, drawing the bottoms of the feet together into your bound angle pose. You can take your hands onto your ankles or your shins, whatever's comfortable, and roll those shoulders back and down, really lifting tall through the crown of your head. Let your knees hang heavy with gravity. However, don't force them to go down. If your hips need a little bit more support here, you can always slide a block or a blanket or some kind of cushion underneath your thighs on each side. You may stay sitting up nice and tall if you want to work on your posture and opening the hips. If you would like a deeper stretch, you can use an exhale to fold down over your legs, letting those elbows press the thighs open very gently, starting to get a little bit more into the groin and the outer hips, and maybe even letting the head drop down a little bit more so you feel the back stretching out. It may feel nice to use your thumbs to massage out the arches of your feet a little bit, or your hands to warm your toes. Finding a couple more breaths in your bound angle pose. On your next inhale, rising back up if you're not already there. And as you exhale, you can use your hands to close your knees and walk your feet forward onto the mat with the knees bent. We'll take just a tiny scoot forward to tuck our tailbone and reach our hands forward, preparing to come onto our back. We'll inhale to sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, begin to roll down onto your back, one vertebrae at a time. When you make it onto your back, just go ahead and feel the earth just supporting you here. Feel your spine releasing its grip, your spine nice and long. And begin to take a nice full body stretch, reaching your arms back behind you and extending your legs out long in front of you, stretching like you just awoke from a deep nap. Taking an inhale here. And as you exhale, let's draw the right knee into the chest. You can hold on to the front of the knee or hold on behind your thigh. If you feel any lower back pinching or pain, you can slide your left foot onto the mat so your left knee is bent up to the sky. The choice is really up to your body. Try to relax the backs of your shoulders into the mat and keep your chin just a little bit tucked so the back of your neck stays long. And breathe down into your lower belly to massage your internal organs with your breath. Now let's extend our right leg up for the sky and interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. You can begin to roll out your right ankle in one direction. And then in the other direction. Perhaps pointing and flexing your right foot a few times. Ultimately, softly flexing your foot so your heel gently presses up, your toes drawing a little bit down toward your nose. And using each exhale to gently pull that right leg in. If you need a deeper stretch, you can climb your hands up behind your calf or your ankle, breathing into your hamstring, making sure that you're not locking out your right knee joint. From here, we'll bend our right knee 90 degrees and let the right arm come out to a T. We'll use our left hand to cross our right knee over our body, coming into a twist. You might like to slide or tuck your left hip a little bit more underneath your right, looking to the right side. And just breathing through the right side here, this detoxing twist. And taking one more breath. And then we'll gently inhale, taking it back to center. As you exhale, release your right leg. Release both legs long onto the mat, and let's come back into that full body stretch. Stretching like you just awoke from a deep nap. We'll inhale. And as you exhale, let's pull that left knee into the chest now. Remember, you can hold the front of the knee or interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. With each exhale, drawing that left knee in towards the left shoulder. Really breathing down into your belly to massage the internal organs, here where the descending colon lies. Keep the shoulders relaxed as you take one more breath here. And then we'll go ahead and extend that left leg up for the sky, interlacing your fingers behind your left thigh, and beginning to roll out your left ankle in one direction. And in the other direction. And then beginning to point and flex a few times. And then we'll flex our left foot, pressing up through the heel and drawing those left toes down toward your nose, keeping a micro bend or a greater bend if you need in the back of your left leg. We'll begin to breathe into that left hamstring. If you need a deeper stretch, feel free to climb your hands up behind your calf or your ankle. And taking one more breath to the center of the muscle. And from here, we'll bend that left knee 90 degrees, taking the left arm out to a T, a breath in. And as you breathe out, we'll cross the left knee over to the right side. You can use your hand to guide it over, maybe sliding or tucking the right hip a little bit more underneath the left, as you gently turn your gaze to the left side. Really working on grounding energy through the left shoulder. Whether it's touching the mat or not doesn't matter. Just imagine that every exhale is further rooting the left shoulder down as you cross the knee over to the body. And on your next breath in, we'll gently come back to center. Make sure that when you come back to center, your hips are in alignment and your spine is nice and long. And we'll draw both knees into the chest, just starting to gently rock from side to side, massaging out the back into the mat. Making some circles with your knees in one direction, massaging out the lower back a little bit. And then circling those knees in the opposite direction. And gently coming back to center, giving yourself a big hug, maybe even lifting your forehead towards your knees, wrapping your arms around your shins and curling into a tight ball. Inhale. And as you exhale, begin to release back down onto the mat. Take your head gently down, your feet down. And we'll begin to move into our relaxation. However, if there's something that we didn't get to in this practice that you want to take while your body is warm and ready to receive, feel free to add in any of your own yoga poses here to the end of your practice. When the time feels right to you, join me in your final resting pose. This may be done in constructive resting pose, where you're on your back with your knees bent, feet about the width of the mat, and the knees bent in to rest on one another. You may like to take your relaxation in corpse pose, extending your legs out long onto the mat, taking your feet about the width of the mat so your hips can relax their grip as you let the feet just flop open. Perhaps you like to take your palms to face up beside your body in a gesture of receiving, letting the shoulders release away from the ears. Or perhaps you'd like to take constructive resting pose or corpse pose with your hands on your body. Maybe one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart for a gesture of turning inward. Just make sure that whatever you chose for your relaxation, you feel truly relaxed. There's no tension being held in this position. Perhaps you close your eyes down and just really settle into your space here for your relaxation. Allow your feet and your legs to completely relax their grip. Allow your hands and your arms to completely relax their grip. And allow your torso and your head really to be held by the earth, totally relaxing their grip. Allowing your whole body to be fully relaxed and at peace in this moment. As the body becomes more relaxed, let that come up into your mental body. Allow your mind to release its grip, dissolving the thoughts, dissolving the muscles, and enjoying a couple minutes here. I'll let you know when the practice is over. So allow yourself to relax and decompress. If you notice your mind wandering, send your awareness back to your breath. Easy breath, easy body, easy mind. When you're ready, you can slowly begin to deepen your breath. Slowly beginning to bring small movements back through your body, wiggling your toes and your fingers, rolling your wrists and your ankles, and taking a nice full body stretch as though you just awoke from a deep rest, extending the arms over your head. We'll bend our knees and walk our feet onto our mat and slowly roll over onto the right side into a fetal pose, using your right arm as a pillow. Connecting back to your intention, maybe thinking about where you can invite a little bit more balance into your life. And as you're ready, gently begin to press your way up into a comfortable sitting position, coming right back to where we started our practice, perhaps with a new light or a new sense of peace. You can sit with your legs crossed or extended out in front of you. As you've made it, we'll inhale to sweep our arms out and up one more time, gathering our practice, and exhaling the hands down in front of the heart. Bowing your chin down towards your chest, connecting mind and body. Thank you for taking this time to practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed this gentle yoga practice. The light in me sees and honors the same light within you. Namaste.